The coffee burns against Emma's tongue, but she barely notices. Her phone screen reflects the afternoon light streaming through the cafe window, and there he is, Liam. But not the Liam she remembers. This man on her screen wears confidence like expensive cologne, subtle, intoxicating, impossible to ignore. His dark hair is styled with deliberate casualness, and when he smiles for the camera, it's the same crooked grin that once made her heart skip. Only now, it's framed by success, by power, by everything she thought he'd never have. Tech entrepreneur Liam Cross sells AI art platform for $50 million. The headline reads. The article calls him visionary, revolutionary, the kind of man who changes industries overnight. Emma's breath catches. She remembers different headlines from their relationship eviction notices, past due bills scattered across his cramped studio apartment. She remembers the way his shoulders would slump when another gallery rejected his work, how he'd paint until 3 in the morning because he couldn't afford to give up. She'd walked away from that man 6 months ago. Her fingers tremble as she scrolls. There's a photo of him at some gala, arm wrapped around a woman who looks like she stepped off a magazine cover. Blonde hair cascades over her bare shoulders, and she's gazing up at Liam with the kind of adoration Emma once felt, but convinced herself was foolish. I can't do this anymore, she'd told him that final night, her voice steady even as her heart shattered. I need stability, Liam. I need someone who can actually take care of me. He'd looked at her with those deep green eyes, wounded, but not surprised. I understand, he'd said simply. I hope you find what you're looking for. What she'd been looking for was sitting right in front of her. She just hadn't waited long enough to see it. Emma closes her eyes, but the image of new Liam burns behind her eyelids. In the photo, his hand rests possessively on his girlfriend's lower back, and there's something in his posture that speaks of ownership, of quiet dominance. This isn't the struggling artist who used to ask permission before touching her. This is a man who takes what he wants. The cafe buzzes around her, but she feels suspended in amber, trapped between who she was 6 months ago and who she is now. Her current boyfriend, Marcus, texts her about dinner plans. Safe, predictable Marcus with his accounting job and his 5-year plan. Everything she thought she wanted. Everything that now feels like settling. She reads the article again. Liam's startup combines artificial intelligence with traditional art techniques, creating pieces that sell for hundreds of thousands of dollars. He's been featured in Forbes, invited to speak at conferences, courted by venture capitalists who once wouldn't return his calls. The key, he's quoted as saying, was learning to trust my vision even when others couldn't see it yet. The words hit her like a physical blow. She'd been one of those others. She'd looked at his canvas-stained fingers and seen failure instead of potential. She'd listened to his dreams and heard delusion instead of ambition. Emma's phone buzzes with another text from Marcus, but she doesn't look at it. She's too busy staring at a photo of Liam cutting the ribbon at his new gallery's opening. In it, he's laughing at something his girlfriend whispered in his ear, his head tilted down toward hers in intimate conversation. She knows that laugh, knows the way his eyes crinkle at the corners, how his voice drops to a husky whisper when he's amused. She knows how it feels to be the woman making him smile like that, or she used to know. Now she's just another face in his past, while he builds a future with someone who believed in him when it mattered. Emma can't stop scrolling. 3 days have passed since she first saw the article, and she's memorized every interview, every photo, every mention of Liam Cross and his meteoric rise. She tells herself it's curiosity, but the truth sits heavier. In her chest it's hunger. Hunger for the life she walked away from, for the man she thought she knew but clearly never understood. She's supposed to be at dinner with Marcus, but she's hiding in her car outside the restaurant, phone screen illuminating, her face in the darkness. The latest video is from a tech conference where Liam's giving a keynote speech. He moves across the stage with predatory grace, commanding attention without demanding it. The art world told me I wasn't serious enough. His voice carries through. Her phone's speaker, smooth as aged whiskey. The tech world said I wasn't analytical enough. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is refuse to choose between who you were and who you're becoming. Emma's breath fogs the car window. She remembers the last time she saw him move with such confidence in bed, above her. his hands mapping her skin like he was memorizing masterpiece. Even then, broke and struggling, he'd possessed a quiet intensity that made her feel like the only woman in the world. She'd convinced herself that intensity wasn't enough. Her phone rings. Marcus, where are you? Our reservation was 20 minutes ago. She watches Liam gesture to a slide showing one of his AI-generated pieces, a swirl of colors that looks almost alive. I'm not feeling well. Rain check. Marcus sighs, and she knows he's calculating the cost of the wasted reservation. This is the third time this month. What's going on? What's going on is that she's falling in love with a ghost, with the memory of calloused hands and paint-stained shirts, now overlaid with images of tailored suits and boardroom presentations. What's going on is that she's discovering she threw away a diamond because she was afraid of a little coal dust. I just need some space tonight, she says. After Marcus hangs up, disappointed but not devastated, because their relationship has always been more practical than passionate. Emma drives, not home, but to the warehouse district where Liam used to rent studio space. She tells herself she's not looking for him, but her heart hammers against her ribs anyway. His old building is dark except for one window on the third floor. She parks across the street and stares up at that golden square of light, remembering all the nights she'd climbed those stairs to find him lost in creation. Paint in his hair and fire in his eyes, a figure moves past the window, and for one wild moment she thinks, but it's not him. Of course it's not him. He has a penthouse now, according to the architectural magazine feature she read yesterday. Floor-to-ceiling windows and a view of the city skyline, where he can look down on the world that once rejected him. Emma's phone buzzes with a notification. Someone has tagged her in an old photo on social media, her and Liam at a gallery opening 2 years ago. She's wearing a black dress she'd bought on sale, and he's in the one good shirt he owned, the blue one that brought out his eyes. They look young, happy, like they have all the time in the world to figure things out. The photo has dozens of comments now. Goals, one says. They were so cute together, says another. Whatever happened to them? She knows what happened. She looked at potential and called it failure. She looked at dreams and called them delusions. She looked at a man willing to fight for his vision and decided he wasn't worth fighting for. Now that man is reshaping industries while she sits in a car, haunted by what could have been. Emma sees him before he sees her. She's at the wine bar downtown, the pretentious one Marcus loves because it makes him feel sophisticated. She's nursing a glass of Pinot Noir and trying to care about his story about quarterly reports, when movement near the entrance catches her eye. Liam. He's more devastating in person than in photographs. The months have carved away any remaining softness, leaving sharp cheekbones and a jaw that could cut glass. His charcoal suit fits like it was born on his body, and when he moves, there's a predatory fluidity that makes her mouth go dry. He's alone. Emma's hand tightens around her wine glass. Marcus is still talking, oblivious to the way her world has just tilted off its axis. She should look away, should focus on the safe, stable man across from her who'll never break her heart, or challenge her or make her feel like she's drowning in need. Instead, she excuses herself to the bathroom. The hallway is dimly lit, lined with expensive art that probably costs more than her monthly rent. She's studying a particularly abstract piece, trying to steady her breathing, when a familiar voice makes her spine straighten. You always did prefer the experimental pieces. She turns slowly, and there he is, 3 feet away, leaning against the wall with casual elegance that should be illegal. Up close, she can see the tiny scar above his left eyebrow from the time he walked into a canvas in his sleep-deprived haze. Some things haven't changed. Everything else has. Liam. His name feels foreign and familiar on her tongue. Congratulations. I saw the articles about your company. He steps closer, and she catches his scent: cedar and something darker, more expensive than the cologne he used to wear. Did you? I wondered if you were keeping track. She starts to deny it, but his green eyes pin her in place. There's knowledge in them now, and power, and something that makes her feel naked despite being fully clothed. It's okay, Emma. I kept track of you too. The admission hangs between them like a live wire. She wants to ask what he knows, what he's seen, But Marcus's laughter carries from the main room and reminds her where she is, what she's supposed to be doing. I should get back, she whispers. Should you? Liam's voice drops to that familiar, husky register that used to make her forget her own name. Your boyfriend seems adequate. The word stings because it's accurate. He's a good man. I never said he wasn't. Liam moves closer still, until she can feel the heat radiating from his body. But is he enough? Does he make you feel alive, Emma? Does he make you burn? Her breath catches. She remembers burning, remembers the way Liam's hands could ignite every nerve ending, how his voice could make her arch and plead and forget everything. But the need for more, that wasn't enough, she says, but her voice wavers. I needed security, stability. I know. His fingers brush her wrist, so lightly she might have imagined it. Did you find it? The simple question cracks something open inside her chest, because yes, she found security with Marcus, found predictability and safe conversations, and a relationship that never keeps her awake at night, wondering what comes next. She also found mediocrity, found settling, found a life that fits like an expensive dress in the wrong size, beautiful, but uncomfortable, never quite right. I should go, she repeats, but doesn't move. Liam's smile is different now, sharper, more knowing. You should, but you won't. He's right. She won't, not yet. Not when he's looking at her, like she's a puzzle he finally has the pieces to solve. Walk with me. It's not a question. Liam's hand settles on the small of her back, firm and possessive, guiding her toward the wine bar's back exit. Emma should protest, should return to Marcus and their safe conversation about market trends. Instead, she finds herself following, her body remembering how to respond to his touch before her mind can catch up. The alley behind the bar is private, shadowed, intimate. City lights filter through fire escapes, casting patterns across the brick walls. Liam stops walking and turns to face her, his green eyes darker now. Hungry. 6 months, he says, his voice rougher than it was inside. 6 months since you told me you needed more than I could give you. Liam, do you know what those 6 months taught me? He steps closer, backing her against the wall until she can feel the cool brick through her thin blouse. They taught me that you were right. The words hit her like a slap. You were right that I couldn't give you what you needed. Not then. His hands brace against the wall on either side of her head, caging her in. But you were wrong about what you needed. Emma's pulse thunders in her throat. This close, she can see the flecks of gold in his eyes, can feel his breath against her cheek. What do you mean? You thought you needed security, stability, a man who would never surprise you, never challenge you, never make you question anything. His voice drops to a whisper. But that's not what you needed at all, is it, Emma? She can't breathe, can't think. Then what? You needed me to become the man who could handle you, the man who could match your fire instead of being intimidated by it. His thumb traces along her jawline, and she shivers. You needed me to become someone worthy of your intensity. Stop. But the word comes out as a plea, not a command. You're with him because he's safe, because he'll never hurt you the way I did. But he'll never make you feel alive either, will he? Liam's lips are inches from hers now. When he touches you, do you close your eyes and pretend it's me? Emma's composure finally cracks. You don't get to ask me that. You don't get to waltz back into my life just because you're successful now and what? Think I can have you back? His smile is sharp, dangerous. Maybe I can. Maybe you're standing here in an alley with me instead of sitting safely inside with your accountant boyfriend because part of you knows you made a mistake. I didn't. You left me because you thought I was weak, because you thought I'd never be enough. His hand curves around her nape, fingers tangling in her hair. But strength isn't about what you have, Emma. It's about what you're willing to fight for. And I wasn't willing to fight for you then. And now I know what I'm worth. Now I know what I want. His eyes bore into hers. The question is, do you know what you want? Before she can answer, his mouth crashes against hers. The kiss is nothing like the gentle, questioning kisses from their past. This is claiming, conquering, a man who knows exactly what he wants and isn't afraid to take it. Emma melts into him, her body responding with desperate familiarity. This is what she's been missing, this fire, this need, this feeling of being completely consumed by another person. Marcus's kisses are polite, careful. This is destruction and creation all at once. When they break apart, both breathing hard, Liam's smile is triumphant. That's what I thought. He murmurs against her lips. You can lie to yourself, Emma, but you can't lie to me. Not anymore. Emma stares at her reflection in the bathroom mirror, her lips still swollen from Liam's kiss, her carefully applied lipstick completely destroyed. Through the thin walls, she can hear Marcus's voice as he orders another drink, probably checking his watch and calculating how long she's been gone. She touches her mouth, remembering the desperate hunger in Liam's kiss, the way he'd held her like she was something precious and dangerous all at once. For 10 perfect seconds, she'd felt alive again, truly alive. Now she has to choose. When she returns to their table, Marcus looks up with concern. You were gone a while. Everything okay, actually? No. The words come easier than she expected. Marcus, we need to talk. 20 minutes later, she's walking alone through the city streets, her heels clicking against the pavement in a rhythm that matches her racing heart. Marcus had been disappointed, but not devastated, which somehow makes everything worse. She'd ended a relationship, and he'd responded by asking if they could still be friends and whether she'd mind splitting the check. Her phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. The penthouse, 42nd floor. If you want to finish what we started. Emma stares at the message, knowing she should delete it, should go home to her empty apartment and her safe, boring life, should pretend that seeing Liam again hasn't reminded her what it feels like to burn. Instead, she hails a cab. The elevator ride to the 42nd floor feels like flying and falling simultaneously. When the doors open, Liam is waiting, leaning against the doorframe of his penthouse like he owns the world. Maybe he does. I wasn't sure you'd come, he says, but his eyes say otherwise. He knew she would. He's always known her better than she knows herself. I broke up with Marcus. The admission hangs between them. Good. No sympathy. No false regret. Just pure masculine satisfaction that makes her knees weak. This doesn't mean it means everything. He steps aside, letting her enter his sanctuary. Floor-to-ceiling windows showcase the city sprawling below them like a glittering kingdom. Do you know what I thought about during those first months? After you left, Emma shakes her head, not trusting her voice. I thought about proving you wrong, about building something so impressive, so undeniable, that you'd have to admit you'd made a mistake. He moves behind her, his hands settling on her shoulders. But somewhere along the way, I realized something better. What? I realized I wasn't building success to win you back. I was building the man who deserved you in the first place. His breath is warm against her ear. The man who could handle your intensity, match your passion, give you everything you never knew you wanted. Emma turns in his arms, and the look in his eyes takes her breath away. It's confident, commanding, but underneath she can still see traces of the artist who used to paint until dawn, who believed in beauty even when the world told him he was foolish. I'm scared. She whispers, good. Fear means it matters. His hands frame her face, thumbs brushing her cheekbones. I'm not the same man you left, Emma. I won't beg for your attention or apologize for wanting you. If you stay tonight, it's because you choose this. Choose me. Choose us. She looks out at the city lights, then back at him, at the man she walked away from, who became everything she didn't know she needed, at the future she thought she'd lost. Forever, I choose you, she whispers. His smile is pure triumph, pure joy, pure possession. Then welcome home. When he kisses her this time, it tastes like second chances and new beginnings, like dreams deferred but not denied. Outside, the city glitters with infinite possibility, and for the first time in months, Emma feels like she's exactly where she belongs.